Having a total of only 4 dungeons throughout the entire game, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask definitely isn't known as a dungeon-oriented Zelda game. However, the dungeons this game did contain are some of my personal favorites in the entire franchise. So in this video, I will be personally ranking this outstanding game's dungeons from worst to best. Enjoy! At the number 4 spot, we have the Woodfall Temple. I'll start this off by saying that this was one of the better first dungeons in the series. Being as Majora's Mask only has 4 dungeons total, I mean no disrespect to this dungeon by putting it at number 4. I liked the darker, creepy atmosphere of this dungeon that complemented the game so well. The big main room was also very cool and added on to the whole dungeon's decent layout. The enemy selection was subpar, as there weren't very many unique or challenging encounters. I like how they utilized the use of Deku Link to solve a variety of the dungeon's puzzles. Overall, Woodfall Temple was far from a bad dungeon. It just wasn't enough to keep up with this game's other great ones. At the number 3 spot, we have Snowhead Temple. This was a very great dungeon. Like most of this game, they did a good job with making a creepier atmosphere, although Snowheads had a lot to offer. With this dungeon's multiple floors and countless rooms, you already knew you were in for a long ride with a lot of backtracking. And depending on who you ask, you were right. Being known as one of the harder dungeons in 3D Zelda, especially for a beginner, this dungeon does a great job of utilizing the multi-floor scheme to make you have to calculate your every move, or else you'd be doomed to having to go all the way back to the basement floor to reset everything. Kind of like a land-based water temple. I think they did a decent job of incorporating the Goron mask throughout the dungeon, like having to ramp over to different sides. Great dungeon overall, with a good level of difficulty, puzzle solving, and enemy selection, not to mention memorability. At number 2, we have the Great Bay Temple, possibly the most difficult 3D dungeon in all of Zelda. This dungeon did a great job atmospherically. With the water pipes lining the walls and the rusty, clanky sounding theme to accompany it, this dungeon really gave off a uniquely complicated, maze-like vibe. What really made this dungeon great, however, were the puzzles, as this was a heavily puzzle-oriented dungeon. With different twists and turns everywhere, along with the changing of the currents of water, this dungeon really gave the player a nice challenge to adhere to, placing it at a strong number 2. Coming in at an obvious choice for the number 1 spot, we have what is universally considered one of the greatest dungeons in the entire Zelda franchise. And that dungeon is none other than Stone Tower Temple. Actually, I would venture to say that it is the greatest dungeon in the franchise. There are numerous reasons I personally love this dungeon so much. However, there are 2 that stand out. One is the atmosphere. I really don't know what it is, but this dungeon gives off a melancholically creepy/sad vibe. Almost like an abandoned ancient relic of a building lost over the years, with a war-stained history. Which is actually what this dungeon is. The atmosphere and the backstory of this dungeon combined with the unique puzzle-solving mechanics with the mirror shield, light arrows, and Elegy of Emptiness, give this dungeon a puzzle-solving experience like no other. Put on top of that the use of every transformation mask obtained in the game for uniquely designed puzzles, and even the entirely unique concept of flipping the dungeon upside down, giving it a completely new and even creepier atmosphere and new puzzle-solving mechanics. All of this, combined with the great enemy selection, and one of the greatest dungeon themes in the franchise as a whole, along with a touch of nostalgia for me personally, and you literally have one of the greatest Zelda dungeons to date. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's actually been quite a while since I've last uploaded here on the channel, over 2 years, and I didn't realize how much I missed it or enjoyed making them. So if you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a comment, and I definitely plan on uploading more. But yeah, if you have a mailbag question, please be sure to leave one in the comment section below. Pretty much any question relating to Zelda that I answer in a video. And that's it. So thank you all again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.